What is up, guys? It's your boy, Royal Mechanic here, and welcome to an update vlog. First off, I want to say thank you to all my supporters, all those who like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of you. I do apologize for the lack of videos over this small time frame. Haven't really been able to make content like that on my end due to the Bermuda 19 situation, but I've been doing a lot of business related stuff for the channel, and I want to again say just thank you to everybody. So in relation to what I said about business, first off, I will be merging channels with another YouTuber. I will not be sticking to my channel anymore. I will be actually transitioning over there. So this is kind of like the goodbye but an update video at the same time. I am not leaving YouTube. I'm just merging with another YouTuber who's a local player out here with me. And we're just going to work as a team as a duo instead of just one-on-one, and then constantly doing like 20 plus collabs with each other when we could just be using one channel and doing all the work. So I'm not leaving, I'm just moving over to that channel. More often than not, you'll see me with news related stuff and card topics, and you'll see him more often when it relates to just fights. I'll still be there for fights too, but more often than not, you'll see him and other guys work with us to make videos. So once again, thanks guys. If you still want to follow me, just go over to the Team OTK channel. That's the channel I'm merging with. So I hope to see you guys on that end. When you go over there, tell them Royal Mechanic sent you over there, and you guys are following me. Also, we got big stuff and big things in store for the channel, guys. We actually have a meeting. I have a meeting I'm heading over to at this moment in relation with our merger. So look forward to that. Also, I do want to announce this. I'm going to give you guys an idea of. I'm going to give you guys the release schedule of a lot of the sets that got delayed through the Bermuda 19. So first up, for the trial decks of Chronojet, Altmile, and Asha, those will be released at the end of June, on the weekend of the 25th. That's when we'll get we'll be getting it next month during the 25th weekend of the 25th. So be excited for that. Following that, in July, on the 10th, will be the release of the next stage set. So we will be getting all those decks out. Those decks will take about a 2-week gap until we get the new support. So that's going to be really fun. After that, August will come, and in August we will be getting the reprint set, as well as the premium set. So all those premium collection cards, we get that in the following set. It's going to be fun, trust me. Once premium launches, that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of decks are going to see some really good buffs, especially due to the factor of we don't have to worry about Katrina. Yay! Speaking of Katrina, for those of you who don't know, we did have a couple weeks back, we did have our ban list revealed. And if you don't know what happened, here's a quick one. Murakumo's Hyuga got errated to be any card on the field. So it can call anything based off any card on the field. So it got itself that nice little buff. Also, what else? Then in relation to the And in relation to Grand Blue and Dark Irregulars, both of those cards, their guard restrictors, both got banned. Now, did they really need to be hit now? No. The decks aren't really doing much on our end, but they got hit. Main reason for those hits was to do a preemptive ban, because we are getting Rummy Labyrinth sets coming, as well as Sakurai. So they hit those decks to make sure no bonkers out of nowhere interactions occur before anything launches. They sort of did some pre-work, just like they did with Purple Trapeze saying she could not be played with some of the newer support to keep people from doing bonkers out of nowhere plays. What else do we got for y'all? Also, that's honestly it for the standard stuff. Now, in premium, they hit Katrina. She was banned. And the reason she got banned was it sort of was to open up play for other sets and other decks to be used in premium. Because for those of you who are competitive, you already know, if you're not playing Katrina, you're technically not winning the premium format. So every deck now has a chance to be played again, now that Katrina is out of the equation. For now, in my opinion, they should also hit Dark Irregulars, because Dark Irregulars sort of got left alone, while they can still do a lot of wonky stuff under the guise of under their strides and under the guise of all their strides. So having one of the best strides in the game that copies everything. So that was something that should have got hit, but it didn't. And we'll just have to see how games go. But being that almost every G-era card is about to be released for standard, premium could be to the point where everything might end up balanced, but we have to wait and see on that. What else is there? What else do I got for y'all? So let me get on this little tangent since we're just driving, relaxing, and talking. Being a Gear player, I want to get this out there now. I would like to put out there for all you guys who do play Gear Chronicle, if wondering which deck is better to play, I put them at even, and here's why. Because both decks are good. It just depends on what type of play style you want to follow through it. If you're a person who wants to do high risk, high reward, cool. Go with Chrono Fang. You want low risk, high reward, you can play Jet. You can play Chrono Jet. Now, do I say one is better? I will say Chrono Fang does better slightly due to retiring, but it still requires a lot more setup than Jet. Fang doesn't require as much requires more setup than Jet to play. And what I mean by that is, while Chrono Fang might just have board interactions and retire stuff on the front, that's all fine and dandy. But in long term, not being able to do that's all fine and dandy. But when it requires your hand to go down, if you don't see that Kaboo, you're kind of hurt more than you think. So it kind of hurts in that instance. With Jet, though, I would say he's more stable when it comes to that, because he has units that can take that effect for you, but it doesn't cost you much in the long term. For example, in Chrono Jet, when we get the trial deck, we get the card known as Stroboscope Dragon. Stroboscope Dragon's skill allows you to, when it at the end of the battle it attack, you Soul Blast one, discard a card, retire one of your opponent's rear guards. Now, if your opponent's Vanguard was if your Vanguard was a grade 4, what happens is you get if your Vanguard was a grade 4, you can also draw a card. Now, for Fang, that card's good, but you sort of need the soul to make use of quickies to make sure you draw, as well as putting back your rebellions. With Chrono Jet, this card works well because you're always going to be in on a 4, as well as it just helps recycle your cards. And that cycling of cards actually helps, because it helps you sort of set up what your discards will always be. I will also go and say this as a representative who enjoys playing Jet more than Fang at this point. Jet is more flexible in its deck build. And what I mean by that, guys, is as of right now, I'm testing running for my grade 2 lineup. It is currently 4 Smoke Gear, 3 Urkobs, 2 Stroboscope, and 2 Naboo. Now, I'm running 12. I am running 12 grade 2s, and I am running a 4-3-2-2 for it. And as of right now, I actually enjoy it quite a lot. Reason being is this opens up the flexibility possible for my deck to do what it needs to do. Because the way I have it built, I draw more cards, and drawing those extra cards actually helps long term to make necessary plays. So, and what I mean by necessary plays is, and by necessary plays, what I mean is for those turns where your opponent has a big board, with Stroboscope, you technically can force a card. You can technically force a card out your opponent's hand and still destroy 2. Because, for instance, if they guard from hand, you've killed a card in hand, and you still get to kill 1 rear guard. If they don't guard, you get to kill 2 rear guards. That could either be an entire column, or that can literally be an entire column, or you can target 2 bothersome units. For example, against the Alt-Mile matchup, a Stroboscope Dragon can actually help you handle the violinist turns, because for instance, if they aren't on Arrow Divine Alt-Mile at any point in the game, if you kill their violinist early enough, you literally shut their deck out for almost the rest of the game from being able to do what it's supposed to do. And with that kill, you have made your game so much easier. Also, another matchup this helps against is that card helps against is Asha, because with that card, you don't even need to bother targeting the token. You can kill the token while still pressuring the Vanguard. Especially when Chrono Jet can just build up extra crits using Force 2 or extra power using Force 1. I'm a strong user of Force 2 because every time you swing with Chrono Jet, it's just beautiful. And that is really fun. Now, in relation to deck building, I also believe that from this point on, once your deck gets the new 30k Sentinel crits, I'm a strong believer of 2 and 2. So 2 crit sentinels, 2 draw PG sentinels, and then run two extra draw triggers. So still 8 4 4, but 2 of those are a crit, are the 30k guards, and then 2 of those are the PG guard or PGs. Now, why do I follow this route instead of the 4 draw PGs? It's mainly because of how big powers are starting to get. And right now, since we have a lot of cards that are starting to grow in power to the point of a 30k guard is necessary to stop some of these swings, I find it easier to guard those by just having a straight 30. One example, I was playing against a Bermuda player actually online, and he hit me for a number big enough to where I needed to guard with a 30. I needed 30k guard to block. Now, my hand was pretty heavy on triggers, but I also still had units I wanted to use. And I decided to use a 30, my 30k guard. The swing required the 30k guard, so it helped. Now, do I think you should run do I think draw PGs are useless now? No, I do not. I think they're very useful. But in relation to what we're dealing with at the moment, with the power scaling and how aggressive decks are getting, I do volunteer that you try the 2 and 2 more than anything, because the 2 and 2 honestly gives you a window of protection a little better than the 4. This also is because you're dropping 2 cards for a guard that you would still need to guard. Like, if say you guard a card that needs a 30 plus, without the 30 crit, you would still need to use up about 2 cards. But with the 30k crit, that only makes you use up 1 card. Long term, by sacrificing 2 draw PGs, you save 2 cards long term in your games. That's the other part I use it for, because it's a technically a shadow +1, due to the fact of you really don't need both. You really don't need a PG on times when only a 30k guard would do. But those times you do need a PG, yes, the chance of seeing it's less, but that's why you keep your draw triggers at 4. That way it still comes around. You just don't always see it. And this allows you more flexibility on your play. But I'll leave that up to you guys. So as a goodbye, do this for me, guys. Go to like, comment, and subscribe onto the OTK channel. If you already are subscribed on mine, comment on this video and tell me your opinion. And if we get enough replies on this video, I will actually answer this on the Team OTK channel and read some of your comments there and read some of your comments on the OTK channel about your opinion. And I might have Trey join me on this discussion, on the replying back to you guys, as well as tell us what you want to see on the OTK channel. And I hope to see you guys on the flip side. So once again, thanks for everything, guys. This has been Royal Mechanic, and remember, go Rogue, go Pro, and boy, it's going to be good to play Chrono Jet.